George Lands. And if you'll let us know which item you're speaking on.
Yeah. This is general comment or no?
This is a consent calendar.
Consent calendar. So I cannot speak about the restriction of free speech being done by the Jewish mayor?
That's correct.
Hang up on this guy.
Our next speaker is Robert Matthews.
Yes, hello, Robert Matthews, District 2. Not District 2, District 2, Agenda 2. And I wanted to apologize for the last couple of weeks from the remarks that were coming in. They're major, uncalled for, and it's all right if the mayor sucks baby penis. He's a dirty kike.
What? Cut him off.
Fuck you.
William Pierce is the next speaker. William Pierce, if you'll unmute.
Yes, hello. I'm here. I'm going to speak about number 2, and I want to say fuck you, Steinberg, the Jewish kike.
Cut him off. Cut him off.
OMTV.com.
Cut him off.
Logan
Please.
Green.
Hello?
Please proceed.
Hello? Hi, I'd like to speak about Agenda 8, please, about the homeless.
Please proceed.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can hear me. I own a business downtown, and it's gone so bad that nobody wants to come into my store anymore because of how dangerous it's become on every street that's downtown. Any problem, anywhere that there's homeless encampments, there's people that are, it's very sad. They have nowhere to use the bathroom, so they're using it on the streets. It's unfair to them as well as us as business owners, as taxpayers. Nobody's doing anything because that faggot kike mayor is sucking baby penis all the time.
Cut him off.
Next speaker is Anders Breivik.
I can't tell.
Yes, Andrew Bredick here. Hail the New World Order. Fuck you, you kike. What?
May I have no more speakers on
What do
the
you wanna
consent calendar?
Control level. Oh my god. Malcolm. Trolls. Trolls.
Look,
Madam Clerk?
so the consent calendar has been moved and seconded.
You do it.
I like to recommend that we walk away from Zoom calls and have everyone in person. So it's something that we can discuss.
Yeah, Councilmember Laloy, I think we'll reserve that conversation for council comments. Okay. And also, I'm going to poll the council here if we could take a no more than 5-minute recess here. Are we okay on this?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. We will reconvene at 6:05 p.m.
George Lance.
Yes, hello there. Before I get started, I would like to politely request that the mayor not violate my free speech. I know you're going to be tempted to, sir, but I would like also the press and the ACLU and these other groups that they say they care about free speech. We'll see if they do or not. We've heard speakers on one side of this issue use curse words and speak about black and brown communities to talk about their people. So as I continue speaking here, I would like you to be able to justify your reason for cutting me off and not just cut me off in a spaz attack like the mayor has been doing. So this is not the mayor's living room. This is a free speech in a public forum, and the Brown Act requires you let us have our time to speak. When the mayor comes back from his hissy fit in the back room and is conflating protected free speech, criticizing any group, race, or religion, which has been settled case law, he conflates that with violence. He is trying to take away our free speech, which is unconstitutional, and non-American, which is not a surprise coming from this gentleman who acts more like a Bolshevik.
The testimony is off topic. It is not relevant
sir,
to the
I'm not
item
done yet.
before us.
Please let me continue. Please let me continue. We hear about the black and brown communities. We don't hear enough about the white communities, the Asian communities. How about the people who had to deal with the looting and mass fires throughout the cities that were let happen by these protected groups, okay? When we come in there to speak and Antifa chases us out and there's no police protection, you tell us why we cannot.
This agenda
speak
item
in
is
public.
adopting a military equipment use policy.
We cannot speak without being. Okay, I'm telling you, I am for the military arms for the police because someone needs to control the animals in the city who are acting with no checks and balances. And the Jewish mayor is unconstitutional and will be put in check. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Chris Jenkins.
Hello. Hello.
Please proceed.
I've pretty much been a Californian all my life. 58 years old. When I grew up in North Hollywood, I support these cops having the tools that they need to defend themselves in our community, especially if they need the military equipment. You know, I spent the early 90s in North Hollywood. That's where I lived and worked and went to school. At that time, they had the bank robbery, the famous bank robbery. Those cops are outgunned. The ammunition used, they couldn't defend themselves against. They only had 9mm shotguns, and they had nothing. While these guys had full auto AKs with 75-round drums, shooting at everything. And especially during a time when assault weapons were banned, now there's hundreds of millions of them out there on the streets. You know, our police need the military equipment. End of story. Unless you want these savage niggers to take over our streets.
Cut him off.
Fuck that
Cut
kite
him
mayor.
off. Cut him off. Cut him off.
Here's Carl B.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello.
Please proceed.
I say demilitarize the police. Let patriots restore law and order, defend the ATF, the FBI, police. They serve and protect no one but the goddamn niggers
This
and
is
Jews.
adopting a military equipment use policy in the city of Sacramento.
Good.
Larry S., if you'll unmute.
Hi, yeah, I believe that the only appropriate time for military weapons to be used is if it's against the filthy kikes that did 9/11, and maybe the feral niggers.
Cut him off.
That are
Cut him off. Cut him off.
Samuel B., if you'll unmute.
Shh. Okay, be, please.
Cancel the Zoom. What are you doing?
You don't.
Everyone to listen to this hate speech
Samuel B.
for 6 weeks straight.
Including myself and my.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
Stop it.
Cancel the Zoom. What are you doing?
I'm going to ask you to
so
leave
we're talking about
if
the
you shout out
militarization
again.
of the police and getting the military equipment, and I'm totally against that. And, you know, it's awful that these people are calling in and calling the mayor a dirty penis-sucking Jew. Kike. Fuck you, you faggot, commie bastard.
Cut him
I
off.
have no more speakers. Speakers
Okay.
Ian Stewart. Ian, if you'll unmute.
Is it white privilege to be murdered by a bunch of deranged blacks?
Madam Clerk,
Have your children groomed by homosexuals?
admonish the speaker to speak
Fuck
within
you,
the
you
purview
fucking faggot,
of
commie
the,
piece of
and if
shit.
not,
You will never
shut
silence
him
the
down.
race.
Members,
Hail the order. Fuck you.
Gary L., if you'll unmute.
Yeah, really quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to the GDL and the Blood Tribe for that based demonstration in Florida this weekend. And a quick reminder that
Madam Clerk,
Jews will not
please admonish the
replace
Government
speaker
Code
to speak.
Section
Jews
54954.3
us.
provides that you may
We are
speak on
everywhere.
items that are
Fuck
under
the
the
Jews.
purview of the
Heil
legislative
Hitler.
body. Please
Go ahead
proceed
and end
if
the
you
speaker's
have
time.
White
comments.
fucking power.
Kai Katterman.
Hello there. I hope nothing I take here is to the disliking of anybody there who wants to control free speech. It's pretty important that you allow free speech, because if you don't, you're violating one of the principles that our country is founded on. You expect to have peace and people being able to have a public discourse if you limit ideas and things that you don't like. It's one thing if someone uses obscenity or vulgarity, but if someone mentions a black person or a Jewish person, that's not hateful. And even if it were, that's protected speech. You just can't use slurs and stuff like that. So the way you guys are controlling speech it's a kind of a slippery slope, what you've been doing, but you're finding yourselves more and more authoritarian and Marxist. And without violating any anti-Semitic resolutions you may have, I would like to request that you consider a resolution for white people just the same. If they have,
Madam Clerk, please admonish the speaker to speak within the purview of the local government.
This is the purview. Aren't I speaking about the purview? I'm asking for you to put a resolution together just like you've done for other groups. The beginning of this meeting included different ethnic groups. Why not have a resolution of appreciation for the 90% of white people who fought in World War II? You can't cut off this speech. This is protected free speech. And I resent the idea that I have to watch every syllable before some Bolshevik on your committee shuts down my free speech. I'm allowed to criticize you however I choose. I'm allowed to criticize you, and I'm allowed to talk about Karl Marx. Does Marxism have a role in what's going on in our country and why you will not have a white resolution that I'm requesting, which is totally within your purview? Am I allowed to say what Karl Marx's background is, or would you consider that anti-Semitic? You don't get to choose. Free speech in public discourse in public meetings is not yours to restrict. Now fuck yourselves.
Thank you for your comments. Eugene is our next speaker. I have 3 more speakers.
Yes. Let's take a moment to remember the victims of 9/11 and never forget that Jews did 9/11.
Madam Clerk, please end the speaker's time if they're not within the purview of the city government.
Please proceed if you have comments under the jurisdiction of the city of Sacramento.
And the speaker's time, Madam Clerk. They are not within the purview of the local government.
Judy Tester.
Yeah, my big brother just called, and you guys tried to shut him off the whole time he was on. I guess the Jewish mayor, are you allowed to say that, or is it?
Madam Clerk, please conclude the speaker's time if they do not speak within the purview of the local government.
Please proceed if you have comments under the jurisdiction of the city of Sacramento.
Listen, I'm speaking to that, and you have to give me a chance, please. The mayor, you're allowed to discuss his ethnicity and his religion, and that's part of it because Karl Marx wanted to destroy this country.
That is outside the jurisdiction of the purview of the local government, Madam Clerk, and the speaker's time per.
Our final speaker is Anthony Charles. Anthony Charles, if you'll unmute.
Mr. Charles. Madam Clerk, call the speaker one more time. If not, conclude the time.
Anthony Charles.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. To the chair's chambers, I want to dedicate this to Kate Hikes. My name is Anthony Charles. I am a law-abiding citizen. Today, I stand before you, through the phone, to address a pressing issue that has plagued our society for far too long. White supremacy. This harmful ideology has persisted throughout history, causing pain, division, and inequality for our communities. In the next 2 minutes, I'd like to shed light on this topic and emphasize.
Madam Clerk, please remind the speaker to speak within the purview of the local government.
Government Code Section 54954.3 provides that members of the public may address the council on an item within the subject matter of the jurisdiction. Please proceed if you have comments under the jurisdiction of the city of Sacramento.
Yes, sir. I'm getting to that. This is a speech about freedom of speech. So if you could just allow me to continue. White supremacy is a belief system that asserts the inherent superiority of the racial group, often white, over others. It manifests itself in various forms, from overt acts of violence and discrimination to subletter systematic biases that disadvantage marginalized communities. This is toxic. So when I ask ChatGPT on white supremacy, that is the response I get. But when I ask ChatGPT about a speech about Jewish supremacy, it says it is very sorry and cannot
Madam
assist
Clerk,
with the request
please conclude the speaker's time. It's not within the purview of the local government.
Vice Mayor, I have no more speakers.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you to all our city staff and employees for putting together another successful and productive meeting. We are adjourned at 9:25 p.m. on September 5th, 2023. Thanks, everyone.